My husband's face was etched in a mix of rage and exhaustion as he recounted the explosive argument with his parents at the hardware store, the culmination of years of pent-up emotions and boundary-pushing behavior that had finally reached a boiling point. We had been preparing to sell our house and move out of the country, a monumental change that had brought his parents to our doorstep, supposedly to help with the transition. My husband, a 39-year-old man, and I, a 29-year-old woman, had been married for 8 years, and throughout that time, I had watched him struggle to maintain a relationship with his parents. They would often overstep boundaries, ignore our rules, and manipulate him into feeling guilty for not catering to their every whim. Our 2-year-old daughter had become a focal point of their attention, with them often trying to force physical affection from her, disregarding our wishes for her to have her own boundaries. As they arrived at our house, my husband took them directly to their hotel, while my daughter and I stayed behind, avoiding an immediate confrontation. The next morning, they came to our house, and within minutes, they had already violated the 2 clear boundaries we had set: no gifts and no alone time with my daughter without my husband present. My daughter and I were outside in the backyard when they arrived, and my husband had carefully planned to bring them out to us, ensuring he was present to supervise. However, his parents had other plans. They snuck out of the front door, walked around the side of the house, and came through our back gate, attempting to catch us off guard and get to our daughter without my husband's supervision. I felt a surge of anger and protectiveness towards my daughter as I realized what they were trying to do. These were not complicated boundaries. They were basic rules for interacting with our family. We allowed them to spend time with our daughter in the backyard, but we did not force her to hug or kiss them. As the day went on, they helped my husband with some house projects, and we followed our normal routine. But the tension was palpable, and I could sense that my husband was reaching his breaking point. The next morning, my husband asked his parents to go with him to the hardware store to buy some boards for the porch. It was there that everything finally exploded. His mother started pressuring him about the gift situation, telling him that she shouldn't have to follow our rule because she was our daughter's grandmother. She yelled at him, calling him selfish, and told him she was going to do whatever she wanted with her grandchild. My husband, after years of swallowing his feelings and keeping the peace, finally snapped. He told her everything, about the problems they had had throughout our entire marriage, about the boundary violations, manipulation, and disrespect. His father chimed in, telling my husband that he was out of line, that he was the child in the relationship. But my husband stood firm, telling him that he was complacent, that he had enabled his wife's behavior, and that he had spent years standing by while his wife hurt people and then expecting everyone else to pretend it wasn't happening. My husband drove them back to their hotel, and later, he texted his mother, apologizing for the language he used during the argument, but not for the truth. He told them that if they wanted a relationship with him, me, or our daughter, there needed to be genuine self-reflection and accountability. His parents decided to leave early, and his mother tried to manipulate him into coming back to the hotel so she could say goodbye forever and give him a hug. But he declined. Since then, my husband has been emotionally and physically drained, trying to process years of hurt that he had spent most of his adult life avoiding. I am trying to give him space, be supportive, and not make this about my anger. But then his mother sent me another passive-aggressive message, trying to make me feel guilty for his decision to choose his family over her. I am furious, tired of watching people hurt my husband and then expect me to feel sorry for them when he finally stops allowing it. I am tired of the entitlement, the manipulation, and the guilt trips. I am tired of people acting like boundaries are personal attacks simply because they are no longer allowed to do whatever they want. I am tired of watching my husband feel guilty for protecting his own family. I want to scream at them, to tell them that they had the opportunity to have a relationship with their son, his wife, and their granddaughter, but they chose not to respect the most basic boundaries. Now, I am struggling to support my husband as he finally processes years of dysfunction with his parents. I want to help him through the grief of realizing that his parents may never be the people he needed them to be. But I am also struggling with my own rage, my own desire to scream at them, to tell them that they're the ones who have chosen to make themselves the victims rather than take accountability for their actions. I am searching for advice, for perspective, on how to navigate this complex web of emotions, how to support my husband. and how to deal with the rage that comes from watching people repeatedly hurt him and then try to make me feel guilty when he finally chooses to protect his own family. As I reflect on the past 48 hours, I am reminded of the countless times my husband has tried to keep the peace, to maintain a relationship with his parents despite their toxic behavior. But now he has finally reached his limit, and I am proud of him for standing up for himself, for our daughter, and for our family. I know that this journey will be difficult, but I am committed to supporting him, to being his rock, as he navigates this new chapter in his life. And I am left wondering, was my husband right to cut contact with his parents, or should he have tried to maintain a relationship despite their toxic behavior?
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop your verdict in the comments below, subscribe for new stories every single day, and hit the notification bell so you never miss one.